All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is October the 16th, 2017. This is a Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Conservative Retrace Trading. Draw those lines. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we'll go ahead and get started. Now, real quick, we're just going to look at one swing right now to give an idea of what I'm going to go into the next part of the lesson on, and that'll be a little bit of a test, okay? Now, for new members, if everybody knows, of course, if you have a trend, you have an uptrend would be a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, right? So everybody knows that. That's trending, okay? So if I'm looking at this chart right here, just pretend these don't even exist over here. I think everybody can see the identified swing on an uptrend is right here, right? But it's only here when it takes out this swing, okay? So until it takes out that swing, do we really have an uptrend? And of course the answer is no, not until it takes out that swing right there, right? Okay, so let's look at the actual charts and let's ask that same question. Okay, bear with me a second. I'm going to take this off. Okay, we've got a chart here. This is actual real data. I think it was last Friday or basically Thursday. Okay, now this is a question for the team here. Where is the identified lightning 3 swing on this chart? Anybody? Anybody? The lightning 3 swing. There you go. People are getting it. It's not there yet, is it? It is not there yet. Because remember when I looked at this chart just a second ago, I didn't have an identified swing until I took out the previous swing to the left. Okay, and if it was a downtrend, it would be just the opposite. Everybody knows that, right? Okay, we're going to go over that. Matter of fact, this is an uptrend right here, but I'm going to show you how to be able to tell where these identified swings are and also how to tell when the trend changes. Okay, so most everybody got that right, because if you look at this, what is the definition of a downtrend or an uptrend? Well, a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. So you have a high, you have a low. Do you have a lower high? So therefore, this is not a downtrend at all, right? It's also not an uptrend. So that was a little bit of a trick question. And I also asked, is there a trend on this chart? Notice that I don't have anything on here. I've got it really zoomed in. And the answer is no, there's not a trend on this chart yet, right? Okay. Now, keep in mind, though, that there is a trend on this chart with lightning 2. Okay. Now, let's draw it from the bottom. See if we can draw it. Okay. Now, if you were looking at this chart right here, you have a high, a low, a lower high, but we haven't taken out the low yet. So where would obviously the trade on this chart be? Anybody? Now we're doing this without any other indicators, without colors on the chart or anything, just more of a basic good conservative trade. Okay, well the answer would be if you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, and you get a lower low by breaking this right here, wouldn't that actually constitute a downtrend? Correct? Okay, once it actually closes below that line. Let's see if it does. Now keep in mind you could also short this top too, by the way, if it rolled over. But we're going to go with the conservative instead. I just want to show you. Now you'll notice that there's still no trend identified or lightning swing on my lightning 3, right? But on lightning 2, is there now? Right there. See where that closed below that line right there? Everybody sees that, right? That's now a high, a low. Well, actually it went with another high here, but it did break support, so we'll give it that, okay? So wouldn't that be a conservative short? Now, naturally, your best short was up here because you basically double topped. And I could tell you this, if you're probably looking at the actual chart itself, more than likely you're going to see that it's in a downtrend, okay? But we're just, for this exercise though, we're just strictly looking at identified swings, okay? Now, so everybody knows that an uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. So if you don't have higher high and higher lows, you don't have an uptrend. If you don't have lower highs and lower lows, you don't have a downtrend. Okay? Everybody see that? So let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. All right, and we saw that there was not a trend on the chart yet, although we do have a micro trend. Okay? And we did not have a lightning 3 swing, right? But we did have a lightning 2 swing. Okay? Now, let's look at this, and we're going to go strictly with the lightning 3 for a minute because I want everybody to see, and you tell me when this swing is identified, if it gets identified. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that you couldn't already be short this, right? But by what I just said, doesn't it make sense that if you have a high here, a low here, and a lower high, that you're going to have to take out the swing to do that, because that's a high, that's a low, that's a lower high, but that's not a lower low yet. Everybody see that? Notice now let me ask that same question again. Where's your identified swing on this chart? And everybody's got to get this one. Okay? Where's the identified swing on this chart now? Not looking at lightning 2, we're looking at lightning 3. The identified swing is correct. Most everybody's getting that. 60, 91, and 75, right? Because you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, but only when it takes this swing out. That's what identifies this swing right here. And you just need to, as a trader, to decide how many ticks it has to take out the previous swing. And we do let you do that in Lightning. If you actually look at your Lightning swings, you know, we've got it defaulted. But let's say, for instance, that you wanted to have a closed trend ticks of at least 6 ticks. You can do that. And it won't even draw this until you get at least 6 ticks, you know, for that type of a swing. Okay, I leave mine at 0 because I like to get them as early as we can. And we've got algorithms in this which catch these pretty good. Now let's go through the exercise again, because a couple of people still missed it. And I won't mention, you know, we never mention names or anything. We're here to educate, to get everybody where they can make money trading in the markets. Okay, so let's watch the chart. Now with my definition I just had, okay, do we have an identified swing yet besides this one right here? Anybody? See, we have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, but we don't have a lower high yet, do we? Okay? Now, don't pay any attention to these over here because we're not concerned about this at all. All right, let's look at it and let's see. You tell me what the identified swing is, and don't just look because this number kicked in. Okay, because this could kick in another number and still be lower than this one and still be a downtrend. Okay? Everybody sees that, right? In other words, if this was a low and this was to do like a big ABC or something, but still missed this and gave you a lower high even up in here somewhere, you could still get a continuation rollover, right? because you have a high, a low, a lower high, lower low, and maybe you would get a lower high in through here even. And as long as you don't take this out, you could take the lightning 2s and lightning 1 breaks. But I'm not going to show that right now. I just want you to tell me when this swing becomes identified. Is that identified? I would say close enough. That's about 4 ticks. Give it one more bar. Let's give it one more bar. That's identified, isn't it? That is now your identified swing. Everybody see that? This is actually so important to see that everybody really, really, absolutely needs to see this. Okay? I don't know why this keeps locking like this, but that's all right. I can still do it. Maybe. I thought I copied that. Oh well. Anyway, this is your lightning swing, isn't it? Once it takes this swing out. So isn't this the definition of a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and a lower low? Stair-stepping, isn't it? Okay, let's keep going. Definitely identified. Wouldn't you say this would be your medium swing that would have to take this market back up? Everybody? Okay, let's see if we can get a little retrace again, and then let's see if we can identify the swing. This is just a quick exercise, and if it takes a few minutes, I'm not really against that because I see blank stares on faces sometimes, you know, when we're drawing on our chart and things, and I want everybody to see this. All right, we're going step at a time, step at a time. Okay, now it crooked over, which means we're retracing a little bit, right? So we have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, right? That's not a lower high yet, though, is it? This is your identified swing still. So will this become our identified swing? Only when it takes this swing out. Everybody see that? And it hadn't done it yet, has it? All right, so now let's look and let's see if we can tell. We already nailed an identified swing, right? Let me copy this and paste it again. I want everybody to see this. Okay, but is this an identified swing? Nope, it's not, is it? So your identified swing is way up here on our medium trend. Okay, so in my personal opinion, right now, you would have to either break this or this would have to become your new identified swing. Everybody see that? Because what's the definition of an uptrend? A low, a high, a higher low. We don't know if this is a higher low yet. So let's see if somehow that it might be. Let's put lightning 2 on the chart. Now what kind of a trend do we have? Absolutely, right? Absolutely to the upside. Everybody see that? Now remember, looking to the left, this is your identified swing on our downtrend. This is our identified swing on our uptrend. So let's copy it. Let's paste it. Didn't that take that out? Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to draw on your charts. Okay. We got a swing right here. We got a swing right here. This is where we're at right now anyway. Okay. So let me ask a quick question for the whole team. Wouldn't that be a sweet spot that we'd be looking for? See the swing, see the swing. So let's see if this sweet spot happens to give us a trade. Now, we don't know if it's going to, but judging by what it's looking like, it might. We'll go ahead and do that in that color so you can see it nice and bright. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and put on our template. We'll just go ahead and load our template. Now we're going to lose lightning, but I'll put it right back on. Okay, so let's put lightning back on. Remember this right back here? Everybody see that? All right, so we got our lightning back on. Let's draw our lines again so we can get our sweet spot again, because we lost it when we changed our template. So here's a swing. Here's another swing. And wouldn't you think that more than likely this would be kind of a sweet spot on here? Now our predictor will probably catch it to begin with, but as everybody see, this is no longer a downtrend. And we diagnosed it on this chart. Well, we've already changed it, so we can't diagnose it again. So let's go ahead and put Object Trader on, and we'll see if we can get a trade. Now we know that this is support. This is also support right here, right? Everybody see that? But what we got to wait for is our little micro trend to start heading back up, okay? So now what we're going to teach tonight is a little bit more conservative, okay? Conservative retrace trading. So let's see if we can get a trade on this chart. I'm going to go ahead and just start drawing lightning. Probably no lightning there just yet. Nope, we'll go ahead and draw it from here just so we can see it. Okay, so we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, and it hadn't closed below here yet, so we haven't even identified a downswing even on the retrace. Okay, so let's see if we can get us a trade. And by the way, some people had asked if we could trade last Friday to kind of show how to trade. One thing I'm going to highly recommend to everybody, when you're trading and you see something go up literally all night long, be prepared for chop, okay? Because the rule of thumb is that the markets consolidate 70% of the time, okay? After a thrust, you can pretty much count on them doing the same number of bars or even more bars sideways as they did up or down, okay? So let's see if we can get something. Now, right now, I see, if I was going to be looking at this trade, I'd be looking here on the break of a, right now, that's where lightning is, right? Now, let's see where it goes, though. Let's see if we get a trade like that or if we don't. All right, now it's actually here, isn't it? That's your lightning swing. Okay, it's right at our line. Now, if you're an aggressive trader and you just click a buy, keep in mind that if it goes against you, you want to go ahead and either get out quickly, or the best thing to do is wait for lightning to quit going to the downside, because these are identified swings on your smaller end too, okay? Everybody see that? Now, right now, we've got a lightning swing that we're trying to look at and see if we can get a little trade. Let's take a quick break of lightning if it breaks. Now it would be right there. See the lightning swing? See that lightning swing? Now I'm going to put a nice tight stop as soon as I see lightning kick in. See if we get a little scalp first. And we did. Okay. Now see, we've got like 140 bucks so far. Okay. Notice how that, now look, it's coming back against us. That's okay. All right. Let's see if we get another lightning. And by the way, you can use lightning here if you want to. You can just simply turn it on. See if we can get a lightning trade. Now, where's our lightning swing on this chart right now? Well, right this very moment, it's right here. We may get it in a little bit better place here pretty soon. We'll find out. Now, I'd probably be jumping on this thing because it's right at a predictor, but let's do it conservative tonight. I mean, that's right at support. I'd be hitting the button. I know I would. because I'm a little bit more on the aggressive side. Okay. You've got a low. Okay, you have a high, low, lower high, lower low. All right. That's actually breaking that swing right there. I don't like that because that's more of a breakout trade. Let's see if we get a pullback at all. That's still going to be our lightning swing, unfortunately, though. There we go. Everybody see that? Okay, let's see if we get anything on this run. Where's our stop at on this? Well, obviously, you'd want it under your lightning swing, right? Why won't that move my line? Hopefully, I don't remove Object Trader by doing this. That's weird. It's not removing that line. There we go. Okay, everybody see that trade, right? That's a conservative way of trading this, is to simply do what I taught at the first of the webinar, and that is watch for your identified swings. That's another reason why we designed this little tool right here called PM, which is your lightning swings. And by the way, we're going to actually add features to it when it sees higher lows. You could even add to it if you want to. Now, I'm not going to because we got like 6 on here, so that's plenty. Okay? Does everybody see how to take that trade conservatively? We took it twice. We put a stop with lightning. We know we're in an uptrend because we already diagnosed it. And if it comes against us again, by the way, I'd get out again. Let's just put our stop right underneath the lightning swing. Everybody see it? High, low, higher, high. That's your lightning swing right across there. It'll soon be here. See it? Now I'm at break even. I've got a trade that can cost me no money whatsoever now. Everybody see that? Let's see. I notice you use these targets you have on the right. You're talking about the 10, 18, 30? I've just got that set on my webinar one. I've got some templates and things that I use in the room. But on your targets and stops, a person can actually go ahead and set up different ways to do. We'll look at this thing go. Should have been up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, huh? And have you ever noticed that instead of you getting this right here, you remember what we got on Friday morning? We got nothing but chop on NQ. Anybody remember that? Now, as this thing is actually doing its thing, what I would highly recommend doing would be to draw like your fib on your chart, you know, especially when you get a retrace. That looked like a good place to get in, but we're already in it, so we're okay. But wouldn't you think that it would be a good idea to do a fib number on this chart? Let's just see what we go. We'll go from here. That'd be all the way down to here. That would be changing trend, so I'm going to go here instead. Everybody see that? Low, high, higher, low, so that's a good thrust. So our 38% is right down here, so I would be drawing some lines on my chart. And since we've got these charts, we'll go ahead and change the color. And I would be drawing a line. We're not going to come back down to here because we'd be changing trends if we did, so we're going to take that off the table. Okay. We could come down as low as right here. To me, it's a little swing. But anyway, that's 38%. If we get taken out, we'll look at a re-entry on a retracement. Now, we already had a really nice one right here, okay? But keep in mind on what we consider to be our little lightning swings, this is a high, this is a low. This could easily be a lower high unless it takes out this top, or it could double top. And if this was to change trends, you would be looking for something like we did earlier. Now let's see if anybody can catch this, if it changes trends or not. Okay, because we're looking at our chart right now, we're saying, okay, we've got a high, we've got a low, we've got a lower high, at least right this moment. Our identified swing is right here. right? Now that doesn't mean it'll change trends if it takes this out. To change trends, what do we have to have, everyone? We just showed it just a little bit ago. You have to have a low, you have to have a high, a higher low, and a higher high, right? So the opposite would be you have to have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, and then it has to continue breaking too, right? Just like our low, high, higher low, higher high. Nice retracement. We caught it. Everybody see that? Now, naturally, if you had caught this on Friday morning, if you traded at 2 o'clock in the morning, you would be probably done for the day. That's a pretty good day, okay? Now, with this, doing this huge thrust like this, I would really watch for any kind of a pullback. I wouldn't short it or anything like that, but, if this doesn't take out this swing right across here, then more than likely, if we don't double top or something at least, then, we may retrace further. Okay? Bear with me 1 second. Some questions coming in. Just a second. Let's see. Yeah, now my stop right now is actually right underneath here. But keep in mind, if that does an A, B, and a C, it's going to take me out, and this could still head up. Now, if I wanted a gusto long run, I'd probably put it even deeper, but we're not going to. We'll just get back into it. And if this actually closes below here, you could always get back in. See, here's a predictor right here. And that was a good entry, by the way, if a person did buy the predictor. So you want to try it and see if we can get a predictor trade? Just for the fun of it? Let's see how good our predictors are. So you have a high, a low, a lower high. And if they do take this out just a little bit, like they do on those ABCs, we'll buy it again if it pops back up above the line. Or if it hits our 38%. Let's see if we can get something. We're flat right now. If it doesn't get it, it just doesn't get it. I don't care. That's right at support. What do you think? It's right at mid-band. Well, too late now. I just missed it. That's right. It didn't get a lower low like I wanted. They don't always, but it definitely did hit mid-band, and I like a mid-band trade. If you were to buy it like right now, to give an example, thinking you might get up here, I would probably do this instead and just strictly go for like 10 ticks. And I'd put a nice tight stop on it just in case. Because see, it is taking out that little lightning swing. It hadn't closed yet though. That's a little more aggressive if you missed that first trade. Okay. Does this look like more than likely this is going to chop around a little bit? Anybody remember this on Friday? Yep. And keep in mind, there's another thing too. When you get like this is 74 all the way to literally 100. So that's like a 100 tick run. This mid-band trade, be very tight on just in case, because mid-band type trade with that kind of move may get up here to the top and it may not. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at the open instead. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Let's just draw our lines on our charts and stay with the program. All right, we have a 38% right here. Okay, we'll have a predictor more than likely show up. And this is getting close to the open because see, we're right at 821 and some change. Okay, let's see if we can get a trade. We'll just see if we can get one. Watch that thing go right up there to the top. If I remember right, the way that, and they do this continually, by the way, where they purposely time it to where you're thinking, oh my goodness, this thing ran all night. So you jump in and you say, you know what, I'm going to buy this regardless. And you know what they'll do to you when you do that? they'll hit a double top right across here and pull it back. So don't chase them, okay? Because if you didn't get in down here at mid-band and get a quick 10 ticks or something, then don't chase it where it's at, okay? If this was to actually go crazy the way I would want it to, I'd want it to pop above, pull back, and kiss. See, that actually hit a double top there so far. Now, if you're a gutsy trader, if it breaks that little swing and you want to take a chance on it, you certainly could. Not yet. It just broke it. See how it broke my lightning swing? There we go. We got a little trade too. All right. Now, but that was aggressive. That's just one of my trades I like. But anyway, let's look and see if we can get in this trade based on what I'm teaching tonight. We're going to do it conservatively. Okay. Now let's look at our chart just by what I taught a little while ago. I'm going to get rid of lightning 3. We don't really need it. Okay. But we do need lightning 2. Okay. All right. So right now, if this was to decide to go ahead and break up, we have a low, we have a high, we barely have a low, and I don't see that closed. Let me look. No, it wicked it. So I don't consider that my swing. So I'm not going to put in a buy just yet. Everybody see that, right? This is not your identified swing yet. If it closed below this one, I'd probably take that. See how they do that instead? See if we can get a little trade. Came to mid-band, but we missed that one. It was right at 833. We missed that one. But keep in mind, it never gave us a lightning swing either. Lightning swings right, yeah, I'd say right here actually. Now, without you being able to see blue sky on this, I'd be real careful going with a lot of a target. You're more scalping than anything. No lightning swing yet. See if that closes. You're starting to stair step up. I'll go ahead and buy it. We'll see if we can get 10 ticks. Hopefully we can. See if we get 10 ticks on it. Probably not, wouldn't you know? That's right at the open. That's okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it with lightning swings though, right? So let's look at our lightning swing. Not identified yet, right? Hasn't closed above the swing. This is your identified swing right here. Right? So I'm going to put my stop just under there. See if we can get a trade on this at all. Lightning swing. That's kind of boxing it in at the open too, isn't it? If it closes above, this will be my new lightning swing right here. Didn't close above it, wicked it. So it's still right there. Giving you all that money all night, and then you get this. There we go. There's your identified swing now. Now, we're not looking to short this, are we? Not yet. And let me ask everybody a reason why we're not looking at a short yet. You have a double top, so you have a high, you have a low. You have a lower high so far, right? You have a lower high so far. We haven't been down to our 33, 38% yet. We may get there. We'll see. Why did you switch from using LT. Well, actually, Brian, on your question there, you can actually use either one of them. I like a good identified swing regardless, and a lot of times I don't pay as much attention to lightning on my chart as actually watching the swings. So that's kind of what you really want to do. Now, what I'm going to tell you here, though, is that this type of stuff where you just have resistance like here and resistance right here, you want to be real careful with these boxes in at the open like this, because this is doing nothing but giving you a good trade down here at predictor, which you should already be in. Okay, we'll see if we can get a trade, though. That wouldn't have triggered me because it just missed it by like 3 ticks, and I usually set my predictor for 2. But let's take it on lightning only. So we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high. We don't know it's the swing yet, right? Until it takes this out. Hadn't taken it out yet. Sideways Charlie stuff. Remember this on Friday? Let's see, we got our 38. We'll leave our 38, but I'm going to draw a line right here too, because if we go down below this and pop back up through it, I'm going to also take it long. Because that's your high, your low, your lower high. You haven't taken this out yet. Well, I got this thing going too slow. Let me speed it up a little bit. Your lightning swings right here. Everybody see that? Now your lightning swings right here. Now your lightning swings right here. See there? Just got you a trade. All right, now it may stop us out. We'll go again if it does. There we go. We got a decent trade. See how I did that with lightning? And I have to put my stop underneath the swing. Okay, and it's not identified just yet. See how it gave you a higher low just then, though? It should head up. Everybody see how to trade that? Now that's a pretty good way to trade it, isn't it? Because you were literally waiting for lightning to quit going down. I mean, what if lightning would have broken and gotten you a red background and everything, and we may have gotten a real good trade the other way. Look at that thing go. Okay, now if you're in sideways stuff like this, I would highly recommend, once you hit a resistance area, take some coin. Okay, let's go ahead and take some contracts off. Right there at that swing. And our stop we would bring up to right there. Okay, now watch your predictors too, because you remember how sideways this was on Friday? Well, if it takes you out, just go back in. See, like it's trying to give us what? An identified swing, isn't it? Your identified swing's over here. You got a high, you got a low, you got the same high, so that negates that. That's still your swing at 93.81. See if it bounces. Bounced. Everybody see that? That's what we did on our identified swing. Now this may take us out, and that's fine if it does. Just do it by lightning swings. Okay, we took out the high just barely. There's an identified swing. High, low, higher high. So far it closed, so that's an identified swing. Will this be our new identified swing? High, low, lower high so far. Could it be? Could it be? We'll see. I think I just missed it. Okay, everybody see that? Got that on our identified swing. Now let's see if we can get another trade on here. We're going to do it the same exact way we're going to draw on our chart. There's a swing right there. There's also a predictor, but we're still heading down so far, aren't we? So we're going to do it the conservative way and do it the lightning way. Okay, let's see if we can get lightning. Where's our swing right now? Well, it's right here at 95.25. Now it's at 94.75. I'd rather that bar have gone down. I don't like that one as much because that's more of a breakout. But that is your identified swing. I'll go ahead and do it. It needs to hold this swing right across here. See it? Identified swing. Identified swing held. Okay? That's how you do this even on the conservative way. Now keep in mind that this was fairly choppy on Friday morning. You know, it just kept giving scalps is all it would give. But don't you also see that your identified swing will pretty much keep you in the trade? You know, that's our identified swing right now is 94. Well, we just got another target. Got a high, a low. Sometimes the bars go straight down instead. There we got one up. So this is our identified swing right here. Right now anyway. Everybody see that? Like I say, this is a pretty good way to trade, really is. Where's your identified swing again? Well, technically, even right here, you could have gotten out. I probably would have because that literally double top there. Okay. Let's go again on an identified swing. Identified swing's right there, isn't it? See it? Just like that. Wasn't that our identified swing? So it isn't stair-stepping the best way to do on your charts? Even in that choppy stuff, does everybody see that? Now, does this mean that this isn't going to take me out of these contracts? No, it doesn't. Matter of fact, it probably will. But you've got to trust your identified swings looking to the left to trade the right. Okay, now you have a high, you have a low, because you had a bar down. Bar up will give us a swing if it takes out the top. Isn't that our identified swing? Pretty good way to trade, don't you think? Okay, we got taken out again. This sideways. Now look at that. It just barely took me out. That's one thing about micro identified swings. Now we got to wait for it to retrace to get in it again. We'll wait. We'll just flat wait. Got this going pretty quick, but I'll bet you it comes down to right in through there. Anybody? Bets on it? We'll see if we get another identified swing. Maybe getting one here pretty quick. We'll see. Didn't come down to my line yet, though, so I'm not going to really chase it. If it gives me an identified swing, I will. Trying. This is a little late. I don't like this one as much. We may get it lower, though. We'll see. Just took out the top. And like I said, I'd probably protect my coin there. There you go. You just got you a trade. Decent, decent, decent. Where's your identified swing? It's right under There. See it? High, low, higher, high. Now that's lightning 1. Okay? Now if you wanted to put your stop all the way under here and see if you get a higher low, you could do that also. Okay? But normally your micro swings will hold if they're going to go ahead and head up. If they're not going to head up, then it won't hold. Everybody see that? If it takes it out, it takes it out. That's fine with me. Now, by the way, you could do the same thing if you're an aggressive trader. You could even do something like this, but you'd want to be careful with it. I'll show you something. We'll see if we can get a trade. I'll just get the stop out of the way and I'll reverse it. But I'm only going to go for 10 ticks. See, we double topped up here. We're still okay though. Lightning swing is where? Right here. Not yet though. It hadn't closed above. Now you know that you can do this with Reiko bars. You can do it with larger bars. You know, 4-range bars are quick. Okay, the reason that I like personally the 4-range bars is because they do give you basically a good zigzag chart. We'll see if we can get, I don't know if we'll get a reverse on that or not. We'll find out. No, you did. Now you'd have to put your stop above the swing. So we got no choice. We're stuck with this trade right now. Looks like we're going to be okay. Not an identified swing yet, but this is your identified swing right here. And now keep in mind that was aggressive with simply watching lightning. There we go. We just got a trade. All right. Like I say, it's not a bad way to trade, actually. And the way to do is wait for the identified swing to go ahead and set up. Okay, right now you're at resistance. Where's your identified swing? Well, that's right here right now. I don't like that quite up that high, but we'll do it anyway. So you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low. I'll take a chance on that one, but I'm going to put my stop just underneath that lightning swing right there. Now see, I didn't wait for that to close. That could bite me. Looks like it's going to, actually. Okay, that's okay. Now let's see if we can trade it again. We'll see if we can get, by the way, there's resistance. Your lightning swing is right here right now, right? Now it's possibly here. We're going to find out. Close. There you go. There it is right there. Now, right now, it's right here. We don't know if it's going to be here or even a little lower because we don't have a little thrust retrace. Now we do. We're trying. Put my lightning swing right underneath there. That didn't close above, so I'm going to go ahead and use it under here instead until this closes. That's good enough. See how that's trying to close that? And then as soon as our lightning swing is identified, we'll tighten it. Everybody see that? Not a bad way to trade, is it? Let's see, so you can use an identified swing on left and enter next trade based on the right. Absolutely. Wouldn't it be better to go for 5 ticks? Yes, you could. Mindy, on your question, oh, I left that PM on, doggone it. Sorry about that. We're long, actually. We're not looking at short. That'll cost us a little bit. I'm going to reverse it, as a matter of fact, and I'll put my stop right here. I forgot to turn that off. But yeah, if you want to just go for like 5 ticks, keep in mind though that what you got to realize if you can only get 5 ticks, you almost have to be 100% correct on your trades. And that's very, very difficult to do. Okay, it looks like we're going to get stopped. We'll see if we can go again. We'll just use the identified swing again. Now keep in mind that you might be able to make more money than this if you're a little bit more gutsy and you go ahead and buy it. For instance, at support like that, just buy it. See what I mean? Because I would have bought that. But anyway, we're going to do a lightning swing instead. Maybe lower. We'll find out. This is just a little bit more conservative way to trade. Now your lightning swing should be right across here, if that closes below, that is. And again, you can just turn on PM instead. Just let it do it. A little later than I wanted, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Now remember, if this is going to chop around at all, you got to protect yourself. Okay, because this looks pretty choppy to me. But if you get to where you use lightning, I'd put my stop just under this swing right now. See it right here? Just in case. And then you could, if that closes, go ahead and bring it up. We haven't got our 10 ticks yet, but we won't lose but 3 ticks on the trade if this doesn't work out. We'll find out. It shouldn't have reversed. It reversed a minute ago because I had PM on with reverse. Remember? There we go. We just got a trade. Okay, what are we waiting for again? We're conservative trader. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit and let's diagnose our chart because I want y'all to get the next trade for us. Okay, so you have lightning, basically. A high, a low, a higher high with a close. So this is your identified swing. This is your identified swing. See it? High, low, higher high. And we don't know yet if we're going to continue heading down a little bit. But if we wait for lightning to go back to the upside, we'll probably get us a decent trade. We'll find out. We'll see. Wait patiently for the trade because we already got our 10 ticks. I'm not going to short against the trend just simply because so far you've got a high, you've got a low. See, same low, lower high so far, but you still haven't taken this out. So we're still in an uptrend so far. Now remember, we already got our target, so we've got to retrace now. Unless you want to be a breakout trader. Let's look to the left and see if we actually break this to the upside. You could box it as far as that goes, but if you use this PM, let's just fire it up a little bit more and see if we can get a PM trade. Check support. Okay, where's our identified swing? Anyone? Not identified just yet, but it's right there, isn't it? Not identified yet, though. Let's see if we can get it identified. Didn't identify it, not in my opinion anyway. There we go. Let's see here. Right now, your identified swing is unfortunately right across here. Right? See if we can get it identified any earlier than that. Everybody see that? Low, high, higher, low. Same again, so that negates that one. We'll see if we can get it again. Now it's here. If we get a higher low, that is. Everybody sees this, right? You don't have an identified swing to the upside just yet. Except for breaking resistance, right? If we break resistance. And we don't know if we're going to, though, right? This thing could head down for all we know. See there? We're heading down a little bit. All right? We're not changing trends yet, though. Okay, our identified swing's right here. Keep in mind, this is more conservative, because you probably already want to be in this trade, actually. I'm going to go ahead and take it. Reason I took it is because it did break our swing here, and we're going to have to put our stop, unfortunately, underneath here. That's our identified swing. Okay? Now, we're going to add a feature on Object Trader very soon, hopefully within at least the next month, as far as that goes, that I would like to see where we could have real-time lightning. Because real-time lightning could make a good difference in your trading too. Although with Lightning 1, you do get reversals quite often, so you can get retracements pretty early. Like let's say, for instance, well, I'm in 8 right now. Let's go ahead and kill 4 of them. Because we had PM turned on, plus I did that trade. Okay, so we're okay, right? Our identified swing is where? Right there. And technically, it's also right here where you have a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, right? Right here. That's your micro. Now, if they're really close like this, a lot of times you can just put it with the swing that's actually already printed. But if you want to be really tight on it, you can put it right there. But keep in mind, they'll usually nail that one. And then you'll have to jump back in. Okay? Now, does everybody see that more than likely you could have gotten better trades than these, even if you're a little bit more aggressive? Because look at these predictor trades. A long. This one would have never fired a long until you actually, I'd probably have done that one with Lightning anyway, so you got in that one the way we did it. But that was good, and that was good. And by the way, if they break Lightning swings, if you do want to go ahead and actually purchase some more, let's pretend we're only in 2. Let's say that we're going for a gusto, but we're looking at Lightning in real time. We have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high, higher low. Not established yet because it hadn't closed above it. But if it closes above it, couldn't I add a contract or so? Let's see if we can. If it even touches that line with a couple of ticks, I'll fire it. Identified swing is not here yet. See, it hadn't closed. Identified swing's all the way down here. Now, does everybody see more than likely, even with that choppy stuff, even with more conservative trading, you could have probably done okay? Let's see, it seems like on the predictor, it comes halfway into your safe zone. Well, predictors are actually looking at those swings, and keep in mind on a tighter chart like we trade, there's going to be a lot of swings, so you got to really analyze your predictors too. I would highly recommend even, look at this. Let's take this off. If you wanted to just simply buy support and sell resistance, if you drew on your chart where these identified swings are, came down and tested, bounced, Probably tested that one there. See there? And bounced. So you can buy support too. You know, that's why when these predictors show up like this, rather than waiting for the trade, but keep in mind that until you get the difference of this doing this, you don't know how long it's going to do this, right? I mean, you know, you could actually break trends entirely, because until you actually change lightning swings back to the upside, aren't you still, in this instance, lower highs and lower lows, right? So that's why when you wait for this, now keep in mind though that when you hit support, like for instance where you can draw your a priori swings, you could test a little, you know, candle pops up, take it. You don't have to wait till all the way up here. Okay? But keep in mind that if it was to continue breaking below here, that you might be in a trade that doesn't work for you too. Okay? Let's see where our identified swing is. High, low, higher high, at least. Even here is an identified swing, but for sure right here. If it closes up above, we'll have one right here. Let's see if there are any questions coming in. So you can use an identified. Okay, I got that one. And Brian, on your question, one thing about your Lightning 1 versus Lightning 2 is just simply, with Lightning 1, you're looking at strictly a bar up, another bar opens a little higher and gets another bar down. That is a lightning swing. Lightning 1 is really good, you know, also. But you can also just look at the chart and see where the swings are too. You know, without even lightning, see, I can see those. And pretty much when this broke above here, unfortunately, was where this one actually did its thing. That's the only thing about lightning that can be hazardous to your health, so to speak, is because if you get bars straight up and you don't get any down, you don't have any lightning. Because if I draw lightning on this chart from here, it's going to draw all the way up. See there? So the break was above here, but your trade was all the way down here. Okay. So if you draw on your charts though, and you see, you know, for instance, here's a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. So they would have to break this right here to ever head down. And see, they never broke it. They just kept heading up. So there was never a reason to go short on this chart, unless you want to, you know, aggressively trade this, and you would have to do it when it, well, the same way we traded it to the upside. Break the swings, take the trade. Okay? What does everybody think about something like this? If you draw on your charts, you'll notice that if you draw your a priori 3 swings, which are your lightning 3, those are really good to get tested. And when they barely break them and they go back up through them, you know, diagnose your chart and see, you know, did you actually have a downtrend like we had this uptrend earlier? Remember this one way back here? When did this actually change directions? Well, you had a low, you had a high, you had a higher low, right? We didn't know that was a higher low until it took this out. Once it took that out, that was a 1, 2, 3. So then you're looking for retracements. This one here, though, did not do a 1, 2, 3. It's only done a 1 retrace and still heading up. You have not broken. Everybody see that? To get a difference in trend, you've got to have this or the opposite of it. Okay, and I showed the opposite of it when we first started the webinar. And I'll go back over it a little bit too. We'll draw it from right in. We'll kill this trade. We don't care. All right, let's draw it from right here, and you'll see it. Okay, looking at this chart, when did this chart start to change trends? Anybody? The definition of a downtrend is lower highs and lower lows, so that's what was happening here. Now you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low, but we don't know that's a higher low yet until it takes this out. Once it took that out, it was fair game to get a retracement trade. The best trades you'll get any day of the week will be these type of trades. You know, if you were watching this in real time and you saw this actually roll over and give you this nice trade, but then all of a sudden it starts breaking lightning, could you have taken that trade long? And the answer is yes, but you've got to make sure that if you do that, you still got to have tighter stops. So you have a high here, a low here, lower high, lower low, but it never closed the bar. But if you took that trade, you pretty much box it in right through there, or maybe even right across here when it took out resistance. See that resistance area? And it takes it out. Because we do get some of these trades earlier than this. This is actually a full trend change. This is actually telling you, hey, I'm thinking about changing trends because I'm giving you a higher low, and my lightning is no longer heading down, it's starting to head up. So you could have gotten this trade too. And the way you draw that would be lightning. I'll draw the lightning 1 and 2. So if you were looking here and you said, okay, I've got lightning, got like a little swing right across there, could you take that trade? Yeah. But keep in mind that that could have easily done a bar up and rolled right over too, or even just to here and rolled over. So if you get in a trade like this that's a lot more aggressive, don't let them come back against you. Because, you know, for instance, if you got this trade here, you never got taken out because this thing just thrusted up like crazy. Okay? But if they're going to fake you out, and if you get a fake out, you can usually tell it within just a few moments, because they're going to fake it, and then they're going to go for your stop is what they're going to try to do. And then you get all frustrated and you think, well, they're reversing it. No, they're not. They're just trying to take you out. Okay? But for sure, when you knew this was changed, even on the Lightning 3 chart, was when it took this out. Because you definitely had a low, a high, a higher low, and started getting higher highs even right through here. And you could box this in. You know, a lot of times we even get stealth. Look at stealth even was screaming that it was going up. And stealth catches this type of thing because it's actually looking at these bars going up quickly like that too, and gives you that green stealth. Okay. I hope this helped tonight. You can clearly see, though, that even trading conservatively on Friday, if you put nice tight stops, you didn't get creamed around. You got some really good trades. Okay. Now, again, I'd recommend drawing support and resistance on charts. And if at 8 o'clock and everything, or 8:30 when the market opens, you know, watch for those support bounces. You know, if they barely take out, you know, what was this? You had a high, you had a low, you had a higher high. So when they took this out right here, see where this line is? This was at 9 o'clock in the morning. So couldn't you buy when it went above the line, buy when it went above the line, buy when it went above the line? Absolutely. Okay. Mario says, this helped out a lot. This one, along with Saturday's webinar, was great. Okay. Well, keep in mind that when you take these trades, you don't have to give it all the way back down to mid-band and stuff. Stair stepping, when you're walking up a set of stairs or down a set of stairs, you know when you change directions, don't you? The previous step is higher than the one if you're heading down, right? And it's lower if you're heading up. It's pretty simple. You're stair stepping to the upside. If you were watching this right here, you know, if this double tops, for instance, or breaks a power meter, could you actually short? Well, if you're an aggressive trader, let's just see if you could. I don't have any idea, but I'm going to turn it on just for the fun. Well, I already missed it. Got it going too fast. But see, that actually went red. It went green again here. You know, could you take some of these trades like this? And the answer is yes. But just remember, when it's stair stepping, those identified swings. See there? Identified swing here. So when it starts taking it out, are they really still heading up? Let's just check. See it kind of trying to break? What if you shorted that? I'll put a real nice tight stop on it. See there? It's pretty obvious what they're doing, isn't it? And if they take you out, they take you out, right? Look at that. We got a decent trade by just simply watching lightning right there. Real-time lightning, Jack, on your question, is going to be to where lightning is going to look at these swings, and I'll hurry up and finish because I know we're 10 minutes over, but I'll explain this real quick. Real-time lightning, what it's going to be is going to be, let's say, for instance, that this was red, and it would have been, and it turned green right here. Well, then it thrust up and it pulled back, so you got a higher low. The moment it broke the swing, you could add a contract and just stair step it. Each time it breaks these swings, we're going to actually build it into the algorithm where it'll look for a lower, higher low on longs, obviously, and the difference on shorts, and actually try to get in these trades. If it doesn't take this out and you get a bar up, to enter right there on that bar, to enter right there on that bar, to enter right there on that bar, to enter that bar. So in other words, when it kind of steps down and then pops back up, to grab the trade. Okay? All right. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and we will do it again tomorrow in the room, and we'll draw on our charts. We'll watch lightning. We'll watch support and resistance. We'll watch fibs, and we'll get some good trades. Okay? And always remember, when they've already run all night, they're going to do this. But did you see how we traded that just a little bit ago? And traded it pretty nicely. Okay? All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Good night.